Okay, so I've been telling you about this dog, this stray dog that keeps coming around. She looks a lot better than she used to. I know I've never gotten the previous footage of her, but her ribs aren't showing near as bad as they used to. So, first time we met her, I was mowing, and we couldn't get within 10 feet of her. She'd run off. She'd stick around because she wanted to get food, but she wouldn't get close to you. I don't know, a couple weeks later, I was able to get a little closer, and she'd come up to me if I had chicken. But now she comes every day. Today she is stuck around quite a long while. It's probably about noon. She usually runs off by now. But one of the problems we're having with her is she doesn't like the loud noise of the lawnmowers and different things, so I can't really start them up when she's here, or otherwise she runs off. I mean, obviously I have to start lawnmowers for the business, so I guess we just run her off. But she's looking a lot better. She lays on the bridge now. Let's see, try to keep Carolyn out of it. So the cat was outside just a minute ago, and sure enough, her back hairs went straight up when she saw this dog. So I know everybody seems to think we got to keep this dog, but there's just no way. She's just way too big for us. So if it ever gets to a point where we can catch her or touch her, I mean, if it's in the winter time, I'm going to try to put her in the camper to keep her warm, but we'll definitely try to adopt her out. And I think she sticks around because she hopes she's going to get hamburger or something. I mean, we feed her this mush and stuff, some rice, and she likes the rice. Put the chicken broth in it and some cat food. I know, you're not supposed to give dogs cat food, but cat food has more protein in it than dog food, so we thought she needed protein. But the other problem she has is, I don't want everybody to think she's our dog because she... Uh-oh, she's running back. Lays down. I don't want people to think that she's our dog because she'll lay out in the middle of the road and you can't get her out of the road. You try to, you know, chase her off and she'll come right back to the middle of the road. So people come down the road and they start honking at her, and I'm worried somebody's going to say it's our dog and yell at us. Or get on Facebook, that's even worse. Public humiliation. Gotta love that. So, I mean, Carolyn really likes it. I like her too, but I just think I can't see a way of us keeping it. You know, in the wintertime, she would have to lay on the floor, and there's just not enough room. I mean, if the cat's out on the floor, sometimes we stumble over the cat. But then we'll have the wood stove, and she'd have to lay right in front of that wood stove, and it gets way too hot. I mean, you've seen me in videos where I make a video in front of them. Before the video's over, 15 minutes, I'm sweating to death. So I just don't see how it's possible. I will say though, that when it used to be when she would eat food, her stomach would, I don't know, contract almost compulsively or impulsively. I don't know how to explain it, but it was like her stomach just couldn't handle the food. But she just ate a little bit, and it's not that bad. Of course, she's panting right now, I guess. She doesn't show up every day. It's pretty inconsistent. I'm not sure why it's so inconsistent. We always have food out here. And there was a long period of time she didn't show up at all. And when she finally did show up, I think she was just about finished. I think she wouldn't have been able to take too much more. But she could barely stand. She was just shaking. Like her muscles couldn't hold her up anymore. And I don't know. If we are going to have her hang around, see, the thing is I would say she'd be okay for an outside dog, but there's two problems with that. One, I just know that somebody would turn us in if she was outside in sub-zero temperature. No matter what kind of housing or shelter we had for a dog house, it wouldn't matter. They would turn us in. So I don't even know what that means, turn us in. I know that on Facebook last year, this woman was just all irate, and they said, well, that's all right, we'll come and get the dog. And you know, they were just, I don't know, it was terrible. So I mean, I don't want to abuse a dog, but of course my thinking is okay, we're feeding her, she's getting healthier, and she's a lot better shape than she was in, but nobody's going to see it that way. I don't know who she belongs to. There was a guy down there a while back. He passed away. Apparently he had some dogs. I don't know if this was his dog. And somebody else, I guess a neighbor or somebody, agreed to take care of it. But I don't know what that means. If that's his dog, and he agreed to take care of it, what was he doing? Throwing out a bag of food and letting the raccoons and possums eat it along with the dogs? And then when she's out, well, they'll just have to wait until the next one? I don't know. Like I said, she hadn't ate for a long time when she came back that second time. So I assume she's been fixed. I mean, I don't know if she could actually get pregnant with her being so unhealthy. Boy, that would be rough. But anyway, if somebody did, if she did decide to stay around, you know, we could actually touch her. If we can get to the point where we can touch her, then we try to, you know, clean her up and get her adopted out, especially before winter. See if there'd be anybody who would take her. I don't know why nobody has already taken her in yet. That seems pretty strange to me. You would think somebody would have taken her in. I'd like to be able to put some flea medicine on her, or put a pill. Maybe we'll do that. Get one of those pills that you can put in the food. Try to get some of that bugs and stuff over. She doesn't have ticks on it. When we first met her, she had ticks all over her head. It was terrible. But they seem to be all gone now. Now, as I already mentioned in this video, Skitty and her don't seem to get along. I'm sure that could change over time, but Skitty, look, here's the thing I see when people tell me I need to keep this dog. Skitty will get used to her. I don't want Skitty to have to get used to her. I don't think that's fair to Skitty. She's gotten used to the idea that it's just me and Carolyn. She's absolutely comfortable with us. It took us forever for her to get that comfortable with us. She used to spend most of her time outside and come in occasionally, but now she spends most of her time inside and comes out occasionally. She's just a great pet, and we took a responsibility to take care of her. Skitty now knows the boundaries of the yard. She doesn't exceed them. Now, she goes a little bit too far on this side, but not terrible, just a little ways. But she knows the boundary on all the other sides, and she never, ever crosses them. And I just find that amazing. She chased a cat out of here one time, and I saw her in the woods. It was in the wintertime, and I saw her in the woods, and she's chasing that cat through the woods, and she stopped right at the boundary line. And I found that absolutely fascinating that she knows where the boundaries are. But it's you know, she has got her territory now. And when I go out in the woods, the cat comes out and gets me. She doesn't want me out in the woods. She wants me to, so she comes out there. And I have to follow her back. I can't take my own path, and then the cat takes the worst path possible, you know, through all the briar patches. But she won't let me go the other direction. She comes back around, tries to herds me in. I mean, I've never seen a cat behave this way. So I don't see how I should give up my full attention to Skitty, because that's what we've given her all this time, and now all of a sudden ask the cat to split up her time with a dog. Because my audience seems to think, oh no, you need to take care of every animal that comes around. I mean, I don't mind feeding it, but at some point we're going to have to do something about it, because it's the wintertime is going to get us in trouble. And if anybody decides it's my dog, you know, the neighborhood decides it's my dog, and it doesn't have a rabies shot and all its vaccinations and everything, you know, I'm sure there's penalties for that somewhere in the county. I know some counties are really sticky on that kind of stuff. So And the thing is she is out here. She could get rabies. I mean, wasn't that long ago, maybe a year ago, there was a raccoon here, and I'm dead set that it had rabies. I had to come out and shoot it. It was just acting really weird. It was about dusk time, a little bit earlier than dusk time, and it was walking straight up to us and staggering. And I was trying to get the cat inside and trying to get Carolyn, you know, away from it. And I took my pistol from right here and shot it, and I just kept unloading. I even traded out magazines until I was certain that it was not moving anymore. I'm sure it was just kicking around after I shot it, but I wasn't taking any chances. So if we have rabid raccoons around here, then, you know, the dog could get bit, and then that's just something else that we would have to deal with. And, you know, what would you do? So, and the thing is this one's going to need a lot of vet care. And I don't know if I really want to pay that much money into vet care. You know, we'll have to take it in for all its vaccinations and everything, I'm sure, before we adopt it out. And then the vet's going to say, well, it needs this and that. I mean, she's got some raw spots behind her ears. She used to have some raw spots right around her tail too, but those are healed up. She's gotten a lot more comfortable around us. I remember when we were out on the road, we were in, I think, Utah. And I made a video about dogs and nomadic lifestyle. And I really disagreed with the idea that you should be taking a dog on a nomadic adventure, or a cat, or any pet. It's an uncomfortable life. You don't have all the comforts and everything that you would have in a house, air conditioning, that kind of stuff. And so you're asking for a domesticated animal to go out on the road and live in a car or a vehicle, a van. And in our case, a homemade truck camper. So I made a video, and I was saying how I just didn't think that was a good idea. That, and people were telling us that we needed to get a dog for security. Well, first of all, where would the dog have slept in that little bitty camper? The way our camper was set up was we used the bed of the truck as the floor, and then we put a bed on top of the railing of the truck. The floor, you know, we were pretty well insulated from the floor because the bed took up most of the area. So the dog would have had to have slept under the bed. There was just nowhere else for it to have slept. Oh, what's wrong with that? That's okay. Well, in the wintertime, it would get so cold in there that frost would build up on the floor. Of course, we didn't feel the effects of that because we were on the bed, which was a nice insulator. Worked out pretty good for us, but that dog would have froze underneath there. Well, that means you need to get some insulation for the dog. Well, okay, now we're adding weight to the truck and more, less space. We barely had any space as it was. So we're asking the dog to spend its life underneath a bed in a truck, and occasionally it would go outside, but it always would have to have been on a leash because we were in a national forest. There's no way it could have run. We didn't have a fenced-in yard. So limited exercise. I know there were other nomads out there that would let them run when nobody was around, except they video recorded the whole thing, and everybody's like, okay, you're not supposed to let your dog run around in the national forest without a leash. And so I just saw that it would have been miserable for the dog. Just because I was happy living out there doesn't mean the dog would have been. Oh, no, that's no excuse. You should get a dog. And I could not believe, when I made that video, how many people unsubscribed from me that day. They were just furious that I wouldn't get a dog. So I'm sure that's why, same thing now. No, you need to take care of a dog. I don't understand that mindset, that you're actually going to make the animal's life more miserable because there is this perceived perception that I have to have a dog. There's no requirement to have a dog. People are more weirded out with having a dog than having children. Oh, you shouldn't have children. We'll go and kill all the children before they're born. That's a good idea. But you better get a dog. If you don't get a dog, you're a criminal. Even if you don't treat it well, you're still a criminal. But yeah, let's get rid of all the babies. We don't want babies. That's a bad idea. So we're going to make that a big political issue. But dogs, you got to have. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I do not understand the human mindset that the dog is more precious than humans and more important than humans. And you know, apparently in the camper, we were supposed to move out of the camper and live in a tent and let the dog have the camper. I mean, I actually got a comment like that. So it's just, and I know people are going to say that was trolls, but I lost a lot of subscribers that day, so I don't think it was trolls. So anyway, I'm going to jump off of here. Talked about enough about dogs, so if you'll click this up next box, take the video of my other channel. Really appreciate it. Go check it out. So if I can inspire you to think it through so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.